Dino's Workshop.
Hey up, welcome back to the channel. Right, now's the time for the flyover on that build I've been doing, the media unit. Now, the size that I want is this here, which is 1600 by 350. Now, I've been up to the big box store and had a piece cut off a sheet. Now, the thing is, I've got to match up with what's already there. It'll all become apparent when you kind of see it in position, but what I've got to do, this measurement here, this 22mm, is the size of the top of each unit. And I've kind of got to make something sort of similar to match in, because this piece here, as I've cut, is going to sit in between the two units. So anyway, what I've bought is 18mm MDF, and the idea is that that's going to be the 18mm piece, but obviously I needed some at 17mm. I can't sand a mil off MDF, I don't think. So what I'm going to do, where it was 17mm and then a 5mm piece sticking up, if you like, I'm going to have 18mm and 4mm. Now, whether you'll notice it so much, I don't know until it's made, I'll be honest with you. So that's kind of what that's what I want to replicate, but whether I'll achieve it, I don't know. But what I've done, I've basically got my 18mm, and then I've got another piece which I'm going to stick on top for this, which is 4mm, and then go from there. Now, what I want to do as well is, in this piece here, I want to put some lights, some downlighters, 3 downlighters in. Got one centralised, and then, I don't know, put a third of the way across or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's how they're going to be. But what I want to do is recess them a little bit. So I'll kind of create a bit of a jig as I can use with my router and recess them in. Anyway, that's the idea. And then when that's all done, to fit it on top, I'm kind of going to have a piece of wood here, a bit like that, sitting over the end of the piece with the lights in, which will sit on top of the existing units, and then they'll go a piece all the way through here, the full length, if you like, over both units, which will stick up, which will be like a bit of a pelmet, I suppose. That's the idea, what I want anyway, so we'll see. These are the lights that I'm going to use. These here, they're about, I don't know, about 8mm thick, something like that. So what I want to do is recess them in, probably at least 6mm, 7mm, something like that. So basically to get them more or less flush, so they're not kind of sticking down. So that's what I'll be using. They come in a box of 6, and I should be using 5 of them. And then the remote control, and hopefully they'll do the job. Right, I've cut these 2 pieces, and they're basically going to sit there, half and half, on both ends. I've marked out where my lights need to go, and then this piece here, the 4mm thick one, I'll set about 5mm in, and that'll be fixed in that position. So I think the next job I'll do is, what I want to do as well, I want to put some of that facing trim stuff on, the iron-on stuff, across here, so that when I come paint it all up, as the paint takes to it easy. So I'll do that next, I think. I'll put that trim on next, and then let's see where we go. Right, what I've made here is a template to use with my router, and then these lights, basically, the idea is that they'll sit in 59mm hole, and it gives me about 1mm of play in it. I think it's actually less than 1mm, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to use that template now with my router, and then I'll cut out what I need. Now I'm routing out the hole so they put the spotlights in, and I'm using like a flat bottom bit with a bearing on. Here I'm just giving it a bit of a round over with the smallest round over bit that I've got. Basically I'm trying to replicate the original surface, the top that it's going to join up to. Right, a bit of an afterthought. This is the top, and that's the bit that sits back to kind of get the profile. Now, these pieces here are what are cut for go fit on here and then sit on top of the unit. Now, because there's about a 4mm difference, what I've had to do is cut a piece out of them. So in effect they'll sit like that, and then overhanging that bit there, I'll sit on top of the unit. Right, I've cut all my bits for the top, and this is basically how it's going to go. I've got a joint here, and a joint further down there. I've cut them on an angle, hoping I'll get a better joint, and the idea is what I'll do, I'll join them up and then run them through my thickness planer to try and hide the joints a bit. And then it comes around the end here. So hopefully it'll work in. Right, so I glued the pieces together using wood glue and super glue. I just used the super glue just so to give it a quick bond while the wood glue was going off. The long piece, if you like, was nearly 3 meters long. I think it might have been over 3 meters. But anyway, whatever the length was, once it had all glued up, I then ran it through my thickness planer to hopefully give it like a better finish on the joint, and it kind of made it so you can hardly see them, to be fair. I put a little bit of filler in as well, which kind of finished them off, and then I painted them with a primer before I put the final coat on. Here I'm putting the top coat on, a colour that we got mixed up at B&Q. It's classed as a grey beige by Ikea, that's the colour of the units. And at first we took a shelf up there to get a colour match, and it was nowhere near. It was more of a grey colour. Anyway, this has kind of got a brown tinge to it. You can see here where I'd already painted it in the grey and having go over again with this other colour, and it was nowhere near the first tin that we had mixed up. To get there in the end with the colour and get a decent colour match, I ended up having to take the back off the unit again, and because that's more of a flat colour. The colour of the shelves and the units themselves, they've got like a you can kind of see the wood through them. It's like a wash over it, so it isn't solid colour. But anyway, like I say, I ended up taking the back off, and we got there in the end. Now's the time to fit it. That's where it's going to go. It's going to span that area. So what I've done, I've drilled some holes into the plinth, and I'll screw that into the flyover with the lights on. Ideally, I didn't want to screw into the top of the units, but I ended up having to. These lights are simple enough fit, just a bit of double-sided tape in effect, but they do come with screws as well in case you want to use screws, and like a template for them. But in my case, because I'm recessing these, I wouldn't be able to use them anyway. These cable tidies, they come with the kit. After I'd fitted these, I realised I'd put them on the wrong way. I wanted the cables going the other way, so I had to strip them back off again. But that was no problem, they easily come undone. Here it is now, it's just dropped in place. There's no fixings on this, it just sits on those pieces I put on either end. And now it's time to fit this bit. I got the plinth in place with about a 10mm overhang all the way around, and then put 3 fixings across the flyover bit. I did drill for 5, but anyway, I only ended up using 3. But what I noticed is when it was sitting on, because the piece of wood wasn't exactly straight, it was kind of kicking up on the left hand side a little bit, so I ended up having to put a pin in there as well, a screw in there, which I didn't really want to start drilling into the top, but that's what I had to do. I then fitted the lights into the cabinets, drilling through the top. I didn't really want to cause much damage to the top of the units, just in case it ever got used anywhere else. But anyway, you've got to drill through to put the cable in. So I had to drill an 8mm hole to feed the cable through, and then I fitted the lights in the cabinets. The only job to do on this now is to fit a backing board back of the telly to try and hide the cabling. I don't know when that's going to be done, probably over the next few weeks, but I'm out of action. I've got to have a knee operation, so it won't be done as soon as we'd planned, but it'll get done in the end. Anyway, that's it for this one. If you've managed to watch it till the end, thanks for watching. And if you could like and subscribe if you aren't already, then that'd be great. And I'll catch you on the next one.